Hello everybody. I think we're live. I'm just getting set up here. Had a little bit of a problem. Also had a little bit of an issue. Oh, I forgot to do something. Hopefully we're live, like I said, and we'll see in a moment. Welcome to Montezuma. It is 82 degrees, supposedly. I'm hearing, and so are you maybe, an eastern kingbird. I've also heard or seen American goldfinches, pigeons, gulls of various sorts, and that's just about it. It's been pretty quiet. Okay. Sorry about the late start, but couldn't be helped. Somebody did a lot of homework last night for various reasons. Why didn't you do it earlier? Couldn't be done. Oh, jeez, I just lost a battery. Just lost a battery. Hope I remember. We're in a different rental car than we were last week, because that car that we were in last week was sold. They called me and told me it was sold, so I had to exchange for a different car. Sorry about this. Had a hard time starting up too. But hopefully we'll have better luck than we did last week with less overheating. We'll see. I managed to finally get my camera back that had been being repaired, and you may recall it had come back, and as it turned out, it was where's that other battery? As it turned out, it was came back in with Japanese menus, which was not good. I don't read Japanese, but that's been resolved, and then yesterday had to get it back to my liking. It's not working. Hold on. And hopefully it will be to my liking, and our liking. And it meant resetting other cameras for various reasons. Okay, we'll try this. I think I'm all set, but I'm not positive. Okay. So anyway, like I said, welcome to Montezuma. It's a warm day, a very sunny day. A little too sunny for my taste, but what can you do? Actually, I did a fair amount of homework yesterday, but really I did a number of things during the week, given our problems we had last week, and also just given ongoing issues. So, you know, things are going to be a little bit out of sorts, I think, today, just because, again, I'm in a different car and trying to do things a little differently. Both in terms of the car and also in terms of the equipment involved. is quiet here. You're not hearing much. Now it's warm and it's sunny, so you know, maybe that's the kind of weather that has people, well, bears are people, you know, quiet and just kind of hunkering down a bit. Although I did see a number of gulls in the air, but you're not hearing really any bird calls right now. And it's, you know, it is getting late into the summer. Today is August 8th. So for the most part, you know, for most species, we're not in their breeding season. There's some insects that are, you know, making noise nearby, and those sounds are kind of blocking my hearing, preventing me from hearing what I thought I heard was a bird call of some sort. And I just saw somebody fly across the road. See, I've got wires and everything all messed up here. I'm not used to the way I've got things set up here. I see someone up ahead. I don't, that, you know, they have a scope out, or at least a tripod out, and they're looking at something. I wonder if they see anything in particular. If you look on the sides, I mean, like, you know, unless something happens to be right at the tops of the grasses, I'm not going to see anything there. And the same thing here right now. Now, there is a channel here just beyond this close vegetation, but it's tough to even see that because the close vegetation is pretty tall. Oh, someone just flew across the road again. Looked like a... Oh, and there's somebody. Hey, come back out. It looked like the same sort of somebody that flew across the road. I don't know if it was a sparrow or... I'm guessing it was, but you never know. It might have been a... I don't know if it was... It could have been a marshman. That's possible, certainly, in this area. Anyway, I would guess that it was a sparrow of some sort. No sunroof in this car. Just so as you know, not that we often look through it, but every once in a while we have a need. The person who's out with either a large lens or scope, I don't know if he's really looking at anything in particular. I mean, just judging by his actions. I'm not sure if that might be a red-winged blackbird we're hearing. I mean, just by this person's actions, like I said, it doesn't look like... I don't know if he sees anything in particular. Maybe he does. I don't see how he could. The vegetation is tall. He's got both a scope and a camera on a large lens, and I wonder if he sees something. Seeing anything special?
I'm not 100% sure. I see, I guess, gallinules with some babies, or some.
Oh, okay. Common gallinules.
Yeah, common gallinules. There's a pipe-billed grebe out there, and there's something on the far shore that I don't know it for sure, but it might be a Sora.
Let me see if I can see. I've never seen a Sora.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure what they look like. The only reason, because there are some gallineals over there too, and they look different. And the babies here on the right side look different than the babies over there. So if they're gallineal, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe they're Soras.
Let's see what he's looking at. I think we're looking at common gallineals all across, but now, what makes you think it might be a Sora?
Because I don't know what they look like. Because a friend said that they saw a Sora here.
Okay. Well, I mean, if there's a place to see a Sora along Wildlife Drive, this is one of them. So, hold on one second.
What I'm confused about is why, I mean, there are definitely some gallineals over there on the left side.
Well, there's, if you're looking at, I see the bird that looks maybe a little different, but it has young around it that look like gallinule young to me.
Okay, so that's why I think it's because the gallineal youngs over here are much smaller.
Well, when they're
Different.
that doesn't look like a Sora.
Okay.
No, that's not a Sora.
Alright.
That is it looks like a common gallinule to me.
But there are several birds over there.
Well, if you look at common gallinule, I mean, when they're really young, if memory serves, they have like red bills and they're black. And then as they get older, they get a lighter coloration overall, and eventually they'll take on the adult coloration.
Okay.
So, like a Sora, an adult anyway, has a yellow bill and a black face.
And I thought I saw one with a yellow bill.
Well, be careful, you're not confusing it.
Looking at it, actually, I'm probably looking at an immature.
Yeah, so be careful you're not looking at an
yellow,
immature.
But that, yeah, okay.
Okay?
That's probably what it is.
Okay, good luck to you.
Okay, thanks.
I've never seen a Sora, and I just looked up what a Sora looks like, and it doesn't look like what he's seeing at all. But you know, if you see an immature common gallinule, it's very easy to assume it's a different species just because their coloration, you know, is that much different from that of the adults. Well, just saw a few American goldfinches, several of them actually, and I think I disturbed them. Sorry. There is more water in the channel to our left than there had been. I don't know if they received rain up here. I know, you know, my area has received some rain. I know Ithaca received at least some rain over the last few days. So they may have received rain up here as well. I don't know, but I do know, at least in my area, that rain was most welcome. And quite honestly, I'd like some more. You look, for me, you know, you look at, as you drive around, you see a lot of lawns that are all dry and, you know, okay, whatever. But quite honestly, I'm just as concerned for the trees. I'm just as concerned, really, even more so for for the birds that might rely on foraging on the ground for insects. And it just seems like when things get really, really dry, there are fewer insects around for them to eat. It just seems that way. At the very least, it seems like there are fewer insects in the air. Okay, let's take a look at a few things. There's a, looks like a gull and a mallard here. Don't know what kind of gull it is. And another gull over here. Hold on a second. I have to remember to get that battery out from underneath the car seat. Hopefully I'll find it. I'm afraid of what else I might find down there. And I did see a couple of great blue herons. I haven't shown them to you yet. Hold on, let me see if I can find them. I have a feeling we're not going to be here on Wildlife Drive all that long. Unless we happen to see something great, something of interest. And maybe I should be looking over here more, but the problem is driving along. The grasses prevent you from seeing anything. Well, anyway, I did see two great blue herons. They weren't very close. The American goldfinches are flying around, and when I disturbed some, I didn't realize I was driving near some, I don't know if they were thistle plants, or I can't remember what they're called. There's another plant that's kind of similar, and I think the goldfinches like both. And it's my understanding that goldfinches have, they breed relatively late in the season. And it's believed that that's because that corresponds with, some of their food sources being most abundant. Just heard a goldfinch, and that breeze feels good. You can see things are like really kind of overgrown in many places, and enough certainly to block our views. I haven't done any testing of camera switching since I rearranged some things, so we'll see later on if that works, assuming we ever... Oh, by the way, I did see a Canada goose out there. I didn't show it to you. I can see it now, but it's through the grasses. Apologies. Somebody in the air. It's probably a gull. Oh, maybe not. Is that an osprey? Look at binoculars. It is an osprey. And just flew down below our site. It is quiet here. This is, in terms of a warm month visit, this is one of the quietest visits I've had to this point. There's somebody up ahead. Looks like they're either on a ladder or maybe standing in a pickup truck or something. It's hard to tell, but looks like they're taking pictures of something. This is the sort of day, where I could see, some people saying, you know, especially if they're not like, you know, regular birders, or maybe if they're just starting out, they see, oh, it's a, you know, it's a nice looking day, it doesn't look like we're going to have any rain, I'll go to Montezuma, I've never been there, you know, and they might expect to see, you know, all kinds of birds today. But this is, you know, really one of the worst times, at least in the warmer months, to come. You know, basically it's better to be here in the spring, I would say. Late winter, early spring, depending on when things open up here. So he is standing in the bed of a pickup truck. And oh, look at this. Just landed on the windshield. Oh, come on. Cool. I don't know if it's a moth or butterfly, but it's beautiful. I gotta move, there's a car kind of behind me. Pickup truck. I believe I just heard a gallinule. Oh, there it goes. And the guy in the pickup truck just drove off. Okay, hold on, what do I see? I see some... look like wood ducks. I'm not sure if I'll be able to show them to you or not, but they're right down here. A couple wood ducks. Look like more wood ducks. I'm not sure what I'm hearing. It might possibly be a gray capper, but I'm not positive. Might be. As I was putting together the gear to get started up here, I was talking with someone who's always seemed like a nice person, and he certainly knows his birds a lot better than I do. But he got things going, well, we both did in a way, on a political discussion, and he clearly disagreed. And he clearly couldn't handle facts. And not facts that I've just dreamt up. I mean, I had a chart in front of me and everything, and he just couldn't handle it. Politics can always get heated. That's why we don't allow political discussions here. And I believe that's one of the reasons why, like the lab of ornithology doesn't allow, in any chat room they have, they don't allow political discussions there either. What am I hearing? It's possible we're hearing young pied-billed grebes, but I'm not sure. I'm hearing it's a high-pitched. Well, I see a great blue heron. Boy, it's hard to see with the naked eye, but just because it blends in. But who's making that noise? I'm guessing young pied-billed grebes, but I don't know for certain. Let me see if I can find it. I just saw a pied-billed grebe that looked like an adult. It looks like a number of pied-billed grebes are out here, not really close, but let's keep moving. If there may be, if I'm, hold on, if I'm right, and those are pied-billed grebes, if I'm right. There's one, a young one. I was going to say, oh, and there's an adult that just popped up out of goes below the surface with it. Just dove. Actually, it looks like there are two young there. And that looks like an adult, I believe. I was going to say maybe if they're young, they might be just behind these grasses here. I will say one more thing about the political discussion I had. I decided it was done, the discussion was done, when I was being told what I think. No matter what the nature of a discussion is, if I'm told what I think, when a person doesn't even know me, that's it. I think we're just going to keep moving. I mean, we're seeing a few species, but not much. Now, I wouldn't mind, for instance, seeing, let's say, an American bittern or a black-crowned night heron or something like that. Maybe I'd love to see a least bittern. Haven't seen one of those in years. I think these are gallon wool. What's the thing? Oh, we could have had a better look. I don't know if they're gallon wool young or not. You look at them with binoculars, maybe I can see them a little better. Actually, they look like wood ducks. Nope, yep, they're wood ducks. But so far it's mostly pied-billed grebes and gulls and wood ducks and really not much else. Looking with binoculars right now. I believe I just saw a double-crested cormorant, and I believe I see an eagle right now. It's through the windshield, but that is a bald eagle. Not very close, even when we get closer. As close as we can get to it won't be very close. Monarch butterfly. Not a clear view, so we're going to keep moving. But this is the time of year I've started to see them lately. What I don't like is, this time of year, late summer, start to see them, which is fine, except so often it's when I'm, driving, and all of a sudden you'll see one like flying, pretty close to or across the road or whatever, and it's, just, I'm rooting for it, hoping it can get to, a safer area. Great blue heron out there, over here. Let's, I think we're going to just keep moving along here. Just because there's, we're not seeing that much, and the late start didn't help, so we're going to just keep going. We may take a quick peek. I'm not going to switch cameras, but we may take a quick peek at the at the eagle. Bald eagle, that is. Grebes, gold. Heron out there in the distance, and another one closer by the looks of things. Just a quick look. See if we can see it decently. Love bald eagles. I know that wasn't very steady, but it's not very close, and unless we turn around, and even if we do turn around and switch cameras and everything, it's not very close. So I don't believe with this kind of sunshine that we'd get a very, a perfect look. Looks like more, in addition to the great blue heron here, there are Canada geese there. You can always say, well, maybe Ferris didn't see everything he should have seen, and I fully believe that. I mean, just there's a red-winged blackbird, either young or female. Maybe Ferris missed things, or it was hidden in the vegetation, or whatever, and that, that may be. But at least in terms of, hearing vocalizations, we're just not hearing them. It's not, very, very few. It's been very quiet. And maybe the thing to do is be here very, very early in the morning or very late in the day, with daylight, that is. Another great blue heron. I just saw I couldn't tell if it was a tree swallow or a barn swallow. I think I just did see a tree, I believe that was a tree swallow, but I'm not positive. So it was a second swallow, but in terms of bird sightings for me during the week, I can't say I had a lot of activity, but there are juvenile red-tailed hawks in my area. I've seen them a bit here and there. I did see a Cooper's hawk yesterday morning. I don't see those every day, but every once in a while. But it was on a utility pole, and not very close, but I did look at it a bit. But it was, too far away to get a good clear view, given that sunshine that was in place at the time. See something in the distance, probably turkey vultures. Yes, several turkey vultures. Let me see if we can show them to you. And I'm hearing an American goldfinch. Breeze feels good. Very good. Okay, almost definitely saw a tree swallow just now. So I would say we've seen at least one. May have been two. Well, it looks like they did some, they cut down some of the vegetation ahead of us. but you know, will it be enough so we can see the water as we drive along? It doesn't look like it. I mean, they just cut along the road, but they didn't cut very far. Or the channel is essentially filled with vegetation, so. Stopped earlier. I see something over there. Hold on, let me look with binoculars. Looks like a few mallards. I've said it before, and I'm not complaining, but you know, like I've said, and it's not even so much because of what we're not seeing here today, but you know, August is probably my least favorite month for bird watching. What are those? And it's not to say, oh, you'll never see anything in August. That's not true. But it's you know, they have long tails. At least they seem to have long tails. So I'm not saying that we don't see anything in August, but you know, like I said last week, I believe, it's a matter of, you know, you may see something great, but you have to keep looking for it. You see fewer birds in general because they're busy or they're not calling, whatever. They just seem to have long tails, although some of their coloration, from what I can tell, almost makes me think they are red-winged blackbirds. But somehow the tails, the way they are, seem a little long. Where'd they all go? I may have just heard a cedar waxwing. I'm guessing that they are red-winged blackbirds, but I'm not sure. That's my guess. I shared a video I recorded yesterday morning of one of my neighboring red-tailed hawk juveniles. Beautiful hawk. And what I did not share was the video I had recorded, maybe of the same hawk, the night before. I don't know if it was the same or not. I mean, they're from what I've seen, I believe there are 2 juveniles around, which would fit their normal pattern. I don't know if I've ever seen 3 around. And but anyway, I was seeing the the juvenile the night before, And as it happens, you know, one of my neighbors was out there also, not looking at the hawk. And eventually I called her over to offer her a look. And, you know, she remarked, now maybe she was just being kind, that's always possible, that it was a, you know, very beautiful, and it really is. I mean, you know, you look at that hawk, you see its coloration, you see its beautiful eyes and everything. I see another mallard, and you know, it's a very pretty hawk. But eventually she's like, how did you see it? And you know, if you can, I see it clearly with the naked eye from where we were standing? No, I can't. But what I did see was a light spot in a location where I don't normally see it. See a light spot. And there are a number of light spots in that, you know, in those trees, and most of them are, you know, either the bark from a tree has fallen off, or a branch has broken off, and there's like a lighter spot, or something like that. That's most of it. And lately there's been one spot that has, you know, it's just because of some leaves that have like just turned downward. I think they're still green, but they look light on the underside. And you know, with the naked eye, they look lighter than they really are, or I should say less green than they really are. So you know, I've said it before. Often it's a matter of, you know, if you're going to the same places like I often do for bird watching, it's a matter of memory. And you know, you see something, and you know, I'm not saying, you know, that it's never good to double check something that you've seen before, because you never know, there could be a bird there, and maybe you're just not seeing it with the naked eye. But very often, as I drive around or look around, if anything looks odd in terms of, you know, compared to how it normally looks, then it, you know, very often will have me taking a second look and seeing if there is in fact a bird, you know, a bird present. People on the road here taking pictures of themselves. Of themselves? Yes, of themselves. Using the flowers here as a background. Somebody's in the air. Might be a double-crested cormorant. I'll try to get it for you. Might have been. I'm not sure. Kind of looked like one. Like I said earlier, if you're not familiar with just how things work, I could see, you know, waking up in the morning and deciding, oh, let's go to Montezuma. We hear it's a great place for bird watching, and it is. And you come up here on a day like today expecting to see a lot, and between the time of year and just how things are, seeing very little, and I can imagine being very disappointed. So, you know, very much a matter of expectations, etc. It's clouding over a bit, and that is no problem for me. I was going to look at this someone, whoever it was. Not sure what it is. I did drive through the campus just a little bit, really on the near the perimeter of the campus as I came up here. I saw 2 red-tailed hawks. One may have been one of our jays calling, and the other seemed to be maybe someone we don't know, or at least don't know so well. Didn't look like, I mean, it looked like an adult, but it didn't look like Arthur or Big Red. So, and I was along 366 right at the edge of their territory, so I suspect it was one of the hawks that I've long thought of as one of the 366 hawks. Looked like an adult, but it didn't look like it had you know, a fair amount of coloration on the breast, more than Arthur had, and a stronger eyebrow than Big Red has. Somehow it didn't look like her. Overall head coloring and everything seemed to be a little lighter than she is. So I didn't believe it was Big Red. Grass, 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 grass. Oh, grass. Can't focus very well. I could go to manual, but starlings are on the wires. Thought I heard something, and I believe it was the starlings. There may have been more than just the 2 we just saw. Oh, what's that? I think I see a great egret. I do see a great egret. Am I going to be able to share the egret with you? That is a good question. We'll see if we can. I don't know if there are going to be any breaks in the vegetation that will allow me to switch cameras. Well, maybe. We'll see. It's not looking so good. It looks like there's some other ducks out there too. I don't know what they are. Oh, maybe here. Looking at the waterfowl right now, the other, I think we've got hybrid breeds and maybe either a wood duck or a mallard. All right, let's see if we can switch cameras, which first time we'll be doing that for the day. See if that works, and let's see if we can have a look. May need to back up a little bit. Nope. Okay, let's try to switch. Ready? I'm hoping we're still live. Hold on. Let me just double check. Okay, we are live. All right. Now, like I said, we've got a tight window here. Get out of the way, would you? You know what? I'm going to move just a little bit. Oh, you know what? Hold on, a little bit more. Maybe. Okay, that's not bad. Great egrets and other, white birds, bright white birds are difficult sometimes, at least for me. The lighting is a problem. It can be a problem to see detail without darkening things so much that the bird no longer looks white. Just looking. Oh, there's a great blue heron also over to the right, and I just saw it with binoculars, but it would be well, maybe almost impossible for me to show it to you now. We're not going to stay here forever, but it's just nice to see this great egret. So we're currently looking through the camera that was finally repaired. And I may be mistaken, but I have a feeling it now has more capability than it had before, in some ways. I think maybe there was an update to the software, and maybe in converting to back to English and fixing things, they may have given me abilities that either I wasn't aware of before, or had simply missed, or whatever, or maybe they unlocked some things that were unlocked in an update. Okay, we're going to get moving. Good to see that egret. Just a few more moments with various views, including this one. Okay, let's go. Oh, well, we could have had a better look here, but I don't know if it would have been that much better. We had a clear view there for a few moments. I'm hearing more starlings from across the highway, and I see them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 or 7 within view. I just drove through an area, and I should have, I guess I could have shown you everything that I just saw, and I didn't, so I owe you at least a summary. Grass, 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 people, grass. So you're all up to date. exciting visit to Wildlife Drive, and quite honestly, not all that surprising that it was like that. Still, if we didn't do it, I would have wondered what we might have missed. Anyway, that is that. Starlings flying over the road. Tree swallow that we just passed to our right. We'll have to, hopefully I'll remember to double check them as we drive back. In that same area where last week I thought I had seen double-crested cormorants, I believe I just saw some again. It was just in a tree. The sea and the osprey nest we're about to pass. There are at least two up there. I think we will go out to the Van Dyne Spoor Road area. I thought our visit last week was sufficiently interesting to warrant a return. Reading 83 degrees. Not too bad. I mean, it's not really hot, but when if you're sitting in the sun, obviously it can feel pretty warm. I don't know this for certain, but it's my guess that most of the corn that you see growing in the various fields around here is meant as animal feed rather than for human consumption. Seems that way to me anyway. If it were meant for human consumption, they would harvest it, I believe, earlier than they do. Can't remember when, but we saw these fields that are here in this area, and to our right, it doesn't look like corn, it looks like something else. Anyway, last year it was very late seen before they harvested things, and things had turned brown. If you're talking fresh sweet corn for human consumption, they harvest it while it's still everything is still green. Tell you this, if you can get, if you like sweet corn, I'm not the biggest fan, but if you like sweet corn, if you can try a fresh ear of sweet corn, as long as it's fresh. I see a turkey vulture to our right on the ground. As long as it's very fresh, and if it's it's got to be good. Take a bite out of that. You don't even have to cook it. It is very, very sweet. Sugary sweet. If it's good and it's fresh. As soon as you pick it, the clock is ticking. And in terms of eating it without cooking it, if it's not fresh, as soon as you pick it, it starts to, convert, or at least it seems to convert. I don't know what the chemical process is, but at least taste-wise, it ends up going from sweet to starchy. So if you can have it, sweet, it can be very, very good. I don't know how it is on the digestive system, but if it's not cooked. But I once tried some many years ago. Didn't want to try it. Here, eat it. So I tried it. I couldn't believe how good it was. Up ahead, some of these, and I don't know where which direction they're headed, but a lot of these clouds look like, rain clouds. But, we're in sunshine right now, and I guess it matters which way things are going. And while I don't necessarily want the tour to be disrupted, the area needs rain, so I'm willing to sacrifice if necessary. The other camera that we're using today, we just use it just the one time on the on the egret, great egret, and I really wanted to use it today if possible. You may recall the camera that was being used in those situations last week really kept overheating. I probably, in hindsight, I probably could have done a couple things to help that a little bit, but only so much. And so, last night, dealing with the repaired camera, it was almost like getting a new camera in terms of setting all the various settings and attaching a camera strap, which I don't know why that has to be so confusing, but it is. I did it on the first try, though. Yes, first try, without having to look at any other camera strap. I figured it out. Hold the applause. I know congratulations are in order. I know, but anyway, had to do all that and get things set the way I wanted them, and I had turned the camera on earlier in the day, just after receiving it. I wanted to take a quick look. I didn't have time to really, work with it. And I had seen, a setting that I hadn't seen before. Now, maybe I missed it or something. But for some reason, I had always assumed that the settings we were using before were the best that the camera could produce. And as it turned out, either a software or firmware, I should say, change made some things possible, or I missed them altogether for just the longest time. I don't know. But I changed settings, so we're doing things a little differently settings-wise with this camera from, compared to what we were doing and, forever before. And that had me changing other cameras that we use, including the one you're looking through right now. Well, this one is fine already, but I had to double check it. So, lots of homework last night. Did rewiring during this week. And testing, all that kind of stuff. Not bad to do that kind of stuff when when it's successful. It's when it's not, and you're not solving the problem, and you keep working on it this way and that way, that can be frustrating. Okay, let's open the windows. Looks like it's a little breezy here. We'll open the windows just to see if we can hear anything. But I'm not thinking we will hear all that much. It's been quiet lately. I mean, just definitely more quiet. Everywhere I've gone, like I took a walk the other night, and when I was seeing juvenile hawk, and in terms of vocalizations, it was pretty quiet. Just noticed, I don't know if you did, or if the camera even saw it. I mean, there's just a reminder, like this road gets no winter maintenance, so it's seasonal use only. And you might think, oh, if only they paved it, we could go there in the winter. But sounds like a good idea, but I have a feeling up ahead there wouldn't be that much to see anyway. Just be a large flat area covered with snow for the most part. Never know. I could imagine maybe, driving through here would be more interesting. These trees would be without their leaves, and you never know. Maybe you might see, some of the winter species that we like to see. Or I should say species we often see in winter. They're not necessarily winter species, but they're ones that stay around, that winter here. Somebody flew across the road. I'm not sure what it was. Kind of looked like a catbird, but I could not be certain.